begin if you could, if you want to kindly take your seats. And the most important thing I have to do is to introduce our mayors as part of the press conference. Of course, Mayor Krantz, who's going to speak in a moment, Mayor Mead Ward from Burlington, Mayor Burnett from Halton Hills, and Rob is just making his way back. He'll be here in a moment. Good afternoon. As most of you know, my name is Gary Carr, and I'm the regional chair. I want to thank you for being here today as we talk about our next steps with respect to the truck rail hub that CN is proposing in Milton. Joining me today, along with the mayors, are the councillors that you'll see in the chamber. All 5 of the mayors and all of the councillors are strongly united in our position on this matter. I'd also like to share with you some information from Lisa Rayett, who has come forward with a statement that she has allowed us to read. And Lisa has said, I've spent several years listening to local groups, stakeholders, and individuals on the topic of the proposed CN intermodal facility in Milton. I have weighed all the facts for and against this project and have come to the conclusion that this site is not appropriate for this type of operation. End of quote. I'd also like to share with you a quote from our provincial member, Parm Gill, the Member of Provincial Parliament. Parm states, I commend the many residents, many who are here today, and I'd like to commend them as well, who voiced their concerns about this project, and thank Mayor Krantz and Chair Carr and all, for taking the lead during this joint review panel discussion. As a provincial representative from Milton, I am committed to doing everything I can to ensure those voices continue to be heard as the joint review panel makes their recommendations and the federal government makes their final decision on this project. End of quote from Parm. Since 2015, we've worked together to evaluate the truck rail hub that CN would like to build in the town of Milton. We are here today to inform the community that the Canadian Environmental Assessment Agency Joint Review Panel is holding public hearings in Milton about the proposed project starting today until July 17th. And we are encouraging everyone, and I know everyone will do that, to learn more about the potential impacts of this hub and what it would be on our community. The Halton municipalities will present their concerns on June 20th. And in addition, our presentations will be attended at all sessions. And I'd like to just take a quick minute to turn it over to the, if you would look at both the screens, we have a very, very short video that will explain what we're doing as a Halton region. Go ahead.
CN Rail is proposing to build a 400-acre truck rail hub in the town of Milton. The hub will include a new mainline rail which will double the existing track and add over 20 kilometers of new rail yard track. The total CN site is 1,200 acres, and CN has not disclosed its plans for the remaining 800 acres of land. Our expert has concluded that the site can easily accommodate expanded operations of the facility, which could more than double the capacity within the footprint proposed by CN. Since the project was proposed, the Halton municipalities have been working together to ensure community interests and the planned vision for the community are heard. The Halton municipalities will be providing expert witness to the Canadian Environmental Assessment Agency review panel that will demonstrate the impacts to Halton residents, the environment, and the quality of life of the community. CN plans to operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This will result in 1,600 truck trips to and from the site each day. Approximately 34,000 current and future residents, 12 schools, 2 long-term care homes, and 1 hospital are located within 1 kilometer of the project. This site will generate increased levels of noise, air pollution, and lighting, and significantly impact community health and safety. The hub will generate emissions, stormwater discharge, water takings, and water course alterations. We planned for over 1,500 jobs for these lands. This site will only provide 130. The Halton municipalities have engaged internal and external experts to analyze socioeconomic, environmental, and quality of life impacts. We are bringing forward their opinions to the Canadian Environmental Assessment Agency Review Panel. The Halton municipalities remain united to ensure Halton's residents' concerns are heard. To learn more about the project, visit halton.ca.
Thank you very much. So we are here today to let the community know that we are participating in the public hearings to ensure our concerns and those of our residents are heard. Now, CN does not think that our view or the view of the provincial government matters. We disagree. There are many reasons why this prospective provincial and local governments are putting so much attention in this matter. CN claims that the truck rail hub is a matter of exclusive federal jurisdiction and that neither the Ontario government nor the Halton municipalities have any regulatory role whatsoever with this project. That would be convenient for CN, but that interpretation of the Constitution undermines the planning rules we rely on every day to ensure that communities thrive as we grow. Ontario and the Halton municipalities share in the work of planning how our communities grow. This work has resulted in land use requirements built on evidence, careful study that are far more advanced than any federal land use rules that this project would be governed by. To ignore this careful planning would undo 20 years of master planning. In some areas where there are no federal rules, it would actually leave the regulation up to CN themselves. This would result in negative impacts on the quality of life for both immediate neighbors and people throughout the region. We are here to ensure that the panel and the community understands these impacts. For instance, as was noted in the video, think about the roads. 1,600, and it may be potentially more, daily truck trips would impact the safety and increase traffic congestion on our roads, not only in Milton, but right across this great region of ours. The proposal also impacts on our job targets. In our official plan, we plan for 1,500 jobs to be created in these lands. This project falls very short of that target, accommodating only 130 jobs. And that's just the beginning. Here to tell you a little bit more about it is our friend, the Mayor from Milton, Mayor Gord Krantz. Mr. Mayor?
Well, Gary, thank you very much. And again, I have some prepared notes here, and it's going to be somewhat unusual for me to stick strictly to the script, so I'll share that with you right now. But before I get to my script there, I just want to say thank you to my four colleagues that's here with me, standing beside me on this very important issue, not only for the town of Milton, but the region of Halton. I also would be remiss if I didn't recognize some of those citizens from Milton and from the region of Halton that's present here today that's been very active in this file from day one, and that day one goes back some 10, 12, 15 years or so ago now. So just want to thank them there for being behind us elected people on not supporting what is being advocated. So much for off the script, now onto the script, because these are important things that I don't want to miss. First of all, Gary, I want to thank you for leading us on this venture some time ago. This truck rail hub is planned to go right in the midst of both the existing and future residential communities. My council and I have a duty to work to protect the quality life of residents in our planned vision for our communities. The proposed hub would operate 24 hours, 7 days a week, and result in at least 1,600 truck trips to and from the site each day. And I'm just going to deviate for a moment. Some of these might be repetitive, and Gary has touched on some of these, but I think to emphasize the importance of it. As you can imagine, that creates significant scope for impact. Our experts have been evaluating those impacts and have identified significant concerns related to the proposed truck rail hub that impact the community. This includes traffic congestion. The hub will operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and result in 1,600 truck trips to and from the site each day. These truck routes will lead to more traffic on our roads, and traffic will continue to increase as the site's capacity grows. This congestion poses a risk to the safety of more motorists, cyclists, pedestrians, and families in the area. In terms of health and safety, the proposed site is immediately adjacent to existing and future residential areas. Approximately 34,000 current and future residents, 12 schools, 2 long-term care homes, 1 hospital are located within 1 kilometer of this site. The site will generate increased levels of noise, air pollution, and lighting, and significantly impact the community's health and safety. The impact on our environment is also a concern. Our community effort to protect the environment will be impacted by the effect of emission, stormwater discharge, water taking, and water course alterations. And there are impacts on employment. The project will result in less serviceable employment lands and potentially fewer jobs for the Halton community. The site and surrounding area is currently planned for 1,500 jobs, and this project will only result in 130 jobs. So as you can see, the project as planned is concerning, but it seems to be a moving target. Our experts have concluded that the site could easily accommodate expanded operations of the facility, which could more than double the capacity within the 400-acre footprint proposed by CN. And yet CN has only disclosed plans for 400 acres of the site. Who knows what else CN has planned? In other words, they are not just asking us to approve what is here, they are also asking us to have faith about what might come next, all while telling us it's none of our business. Well, we disagree. It's our core business, and we will tell that to the panel. I'm also asking residents of both Milton and the broader Halton region to join us at a public meeting beginning June the 19th, which of course is today, and running through July 17th in order to make our voices heard. The schedule of the public meetings is available on halton.ca CN. And I thank you very much. And Chair Carr, it's my understanding that you and I and the 3 other mayors are prepared to respond to any questions from the media. Chair Carr, back to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. And there's 2 ways we can do it. We are going to have a few questions, but also there is a number that are, thanks to the advancement of webcasts, there are a number of media that are watching, and they've sent in some questions. Our website at halton.ca, if you go on there, has all of the details. Before I do turn it over for a couple of quick questions, what I wanted to do is really thank my colleagues from right across the region and all of the elected officials, both local and region, for their great effort and work together. This is a partnership and a team that works well, and I want to sincerely thank them. I also want to thank some of the residents, some of them that have been going since 2006 on this project, and we sincerely appreciate your interest in this over the last few years. Finally, as you saw with the video, everything we do we're putting up on the website. It will give you all of the details you need, and if you need any of the contacts, all of it is on that website as well. So we have time for a couple of quick questions before we go back into session, and so anybody from the media that has any questions? Yep, Stace, go ahead.
Thank you. We've been getting reports from everyday Miltonians and Haltonians that they're being given information by CN, I don't know if it's employees or representatives, that they are to vacate their homes and lands, and that this is going in June of 2020. So as everyday citizens, which is what our organization is made up of, and we have our Milton Rail as well, who's representing citizens. How do we combat those kinds of rumors? What do we tell people when they say CN knows more than you do, and it's a real challenge for us, that spreading of disinformation. Thank you.
Thanks very much. What we'll do is we'll, respecting everybody's time and the fact we have to get back, we'll get offline with you and help you out on that here. Anybody from the media, any questions before we go? Yeah. Oh, yes. But we do have, as Mayor of Burlington reminded me, we do have a communication plan which will be rolled out. And what we'll do afterwards, if you speak to Stacy or somebody, we'll give you some of the details. And I should add, the real help of you and everybody else in terms of the social media getting it out there. Yes, our friends from radio station.
Thank you, Car. When was the last time the region or the town of Milton's had any communication with CN about, the possible expansion beyond the 400 square meters?
Cordy, have you heard anything?
Well, certainly not, none to my knowledge there, but I'm not certain if our senior staff has had any, and I've got my acting CEO, and he's nodding that there's been no communications with senior staff.
And just so you know, because of the legal process and the panel, everything is being done through our experts who have been putting all of the information together, and of course all of the legal people as well. Follow-up question? Go ahead.
Did that legal process start? Essentially, basically quashing any communication between the two parties.
Yeah, that goes back to when this began, and I'm trying to think of what the exact date was, but we've been in this process for a period now, and all of the legal, all of the filings, all of the material is on our website, and that goes back to, I don't know if anybody could help me on the actual date. Does anybody legal remember the actual date?
Probably, Chair Carr, probably a good 2 or 3 years ago now since we started.
Yeah, and we can get the actual date for you. And just so you know, all of the work that's been done and all the legal process has been endorsed by this council and has been brought forward as our whole legal team. My final last point about this is it's not only been the planning people, it's been the legal people, it's been the roads people, it's been local municipalities, it's been the CAOs, it's been working in conjunction. And the very simple reason is this: we do the planning in this region for various things, and that's how we work. And we're not about to be told that we can't do it when it comes to CN Intermodal. We are going to continue to work cooperatively together on all of these issues, whether it's planning, whether it's legal, whether it's a roads issue. Any further questions before we wrap it up? And then I think no questions from our friends from Cogeco. And I think, Rob, you wanted to say one little thing as well?
I just want to clear one thing up. We feel very grateful to the federal panel for being willing to hear our evidence about the harms that could be caused to our community. So this way we get to set aside CN's claim that we have no jurisdiction, and we're not asserting jurisdiction. We're just very grateful that, even if it is exclusively a federal jurisdiction, the federal panel has permitted us to put our information about the harms to our community in front of them for their consideration. Thank you.
And with that, we will now wrap it up. Thank you very much for your patience.
Just before you...
Sure, Gordy. Gordy always gets the last word. The Mayor Milton always gets the last word. What is it you say? At home it's all gets the last word, but you get it here today.
That used to be the case, is us guys get the last word, and it's yes, dear. So, on the serious side, I had mentioned in the script there that I believe my communications manager is here, and I think it's 1:30 tomorrow. 1 o'clock tomorrow that we present. When I say I, on behalf of the region, I think Chair Carr is there at roughly the same time. But I think, Gary, before you adjourn the meeting, and I appreciate Rob's comment there, but I'm going to take the privilege and make sure that every one of you are well aware that we, four mayors and the regional chair, are totally united on this. So Mayor from Burlington, Mayor from Halton Hills, just to, suggest to you that we're solid behind it. You've heard from me, and you've heard from Rob. Mary Ann.
Thank you very much. Well, when any member in our community is suffering, and we know from the expert evidence that you are suffering and you're going to suffer, when any of you suffer, it matters to all of us. And so we, in Burlington and Halton region, this was a unanimous vote. It's been a unanimous process throughout to represent your concerns and to make sure that we have a strong voice, and it's based on evidence, not wishes, not desires, not economic expansion. It is based on evidence. And so we are absolutely 100% in solidarity, all five of us, all four municipalities in Halton region. We've got your back.
I just want to echo the previous comments. I think the information sheet is very serious of why we're fighting this. I mean, you got the environment, you got the roads, 1,600 truck trips a day. That's going to affect all four municipalities. So it's just not a Milton issue. It's Oakville, it's Burlington, it's Halton Hills. It's the 401, it's the commuters that take the 401. So that's going to affect everybody. But it's also going to affect economic growth in the region. And we have great economic growth. But when you're planning an official plan for 1,500 jobs, and you get only 10%, plus all the disruption, it's not worth it, folks. It's not. Thank you.
One last point for those that are here. Please feel free to take the communication information. That will give you the facts and figures along with the website. And please share it with your friends. We still have a long, long way to go. And with your help and your dedication, we are going to be able to put forward our ideas so that the federal government hears and understands our concerns. And with that, thank you very much, everyone. We will wrap it up. And for councillors, we will get back to work at our council meeting. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.